Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is Neon Umbreon, and I'm here for my Week 2 battle of IGL Best of 3 Masters. This week I'm up against SkeetCity. His team is on the left, my team is on the right. So going into this match, his team is a little tricky. He has a Trick Room component, so I definitely have to take that into account with like Cresselia, Melmetal, and then also, you know, some offensive threats on the other side of the spectrum with, you know, more speed, right? So you got like a big breaker in Charizard X, you got Alakazam, fast special attacker, and you got Mienshao. And then, you know, you got some other annoying mons like Crustle, Raichu, and Comfy, even Florges. So he's got a good team, but there's definitely some weaknesses I can exploit in this game. So firstly, when I look at his team, I see no dark mons, so my Latios is kind of free. I can just click, you know, psychic moves, so that's really good for me. And he also has no ground type, so Coco is also very good, but he does have Raichu as an electric immunity, but not too sure if he will bring the Raichu or not. So, and if he does, I can hit it with like a Dazzling Gleam or something, and that's going to do a lot of damage because Raichu obviously isn't the most bulky. He could run like a bulky Raichu. I could see that working really well against me, but I don't know if that's, I don't know if he would do that or not. So yeah, let's go to game one and see what I ended up bringing. So as you can see, my 6 are here, and as you see, MUK, I bring MUK to this game, which is kind of funny. I really wanted to bring MUK, and I figured I feel like I have a good matchup once I know what his team is, and even if I lose or drop a game of the first 2, I can, you know, figure it out or figure out a game plan for the next. Because I have a lot of options this match. I feel like a lot of my team, if you can go back, a lot of my team works really well against him. It just really depends on what he brings. Like, I think everything maybe except for the Heracross is probably good here, because Florges is really bulky fairy, and Heracross can't really do much against Florges unless I'm like Guts Facade, which honestly could have been a set that really works well here. But like everything has its place in this matchup, so I feel really confident about that, and I feel like I just wanted to bring MUK. I really did want to bring MUK. So yeah, so I have a MUK. It's like Toxic something. Oh, it's like, I think it's Toxic Acid Armor. It actually 1v1s a Melmetal, so that's kind of funny. So if I can keep that alive, that would be really good for me. And I get an offensive Coco. Like I said, he didn't bring the Raichu, so Coco is also very good in this game. Arcanine checks the likes of Charizard, Melmetal, Mienshao. I have Intimidate, so that's really good for me. And then I have a defensive Vaporeon. In combination with the Arcanine, I can deal with the physical threats. And then I have Latios, like I said, no dark type, works really well against him, and then Celesteela as a nice backbone defensively for the team. Alright, so let's get right into it. So I'm going to send out Celesteela, and I'm also going to, well, I'm going to start off normal actually. This is a decently long game, spoiler alert, but we'll see how this goes. So he's going to knock me off immediately, but this is fine for me really. I don't exactly want to go into Arcanine in case he stays in. I'm just gonna play it safe on turn 2 here, because if he knocks off, I lose my Shaka Berry that I have on my Arcanine, and I really need that for like Earthquake on Zard, which is the only way that Zard can break through Arcanine. So I'm just gonna stay in Air Slash, and I'm gonna be able to knock out the Mienshao early, which is really great for me. I get a Spadef boost, which will lure out like Alakazam, for instance. And now Melmetal can come in, but I have a free switch into my Arcanine. As you see, that does nothing. And unfortunately, he does get a Para, so I have to immediately switch into this and go for the Heal Bell. Not something exactly wanted, because if that Para didn't happen, I probably would have gotten a little bit of momentum early there. So that's okay. But I can just go back in Arcanine and repeat the same series of plays and hope that he does not get that. So I can just teleport out and threaten with my Latios. And now I basically... oh yeah, and I was thinking a lot on this turn, because... this really determines the outcome of the game, or at least this play does, is exactly what I wanted to do here, because I could have gone into MUK, I could have gone into Coco, could have gone to this. There's a few things I could have done. This Corsola is definitely a threat to me, because I did not bring something like a DONPHAN that can knock things off in game 1. So So at first, I think Psyshock's probably my best play. I don't think he stays in on Eladius. It didn't really make a lot of sense to me. I expected a Florga switch in. And Psyshock catches that because it's going to be most likely Spadef. So that's why I go for the Psyshock here. And then it's only going to do 30, and he actually disables me, which is really unfortunate. It's not that unfortunate, but it is a little annoying. And with the Psyshock damage, I see that's really very defensive, and he gets a burn off, which is, you know, mildly annoying, right? So for instance, if I was like sub-call mine here, I would have been in a very, very good spot. So maybe that's something I have in mind for maybe a potential rematch, because that sub-call mine goes really in against something like a Corsola. So now I'm going to go into Coco. Now that I know he is physical, I can basically break through this because I am a very offensive Coco. I am Specs, so I can basically just go for Thunderbolt. I'm like, okay, I could do a KO this. He gets a disable again, which is absolutely awful for me. But it actually doesn't matter anyway. He has the Mirror Coat, which is so bad for me. I did not expect the Mirror Coat at all. So really good prep by him. Yeah, that's really unfortunate for me. So now I have to play my Latios very well in the late game because I lose one of my two big breakers in this game. So now he's gonna go Florgus as I go for the ball. So Psyshock would have been the play, so he makes a good play. So I'm gonna go into Vaporeon. He's gonna Wish. So now I'm just gonna go for the Roar because I know this thing is most likely to come out, and I don't want it to get a Wish off. So I'm gonna flip turn, gonna go into the MUK, and I'm gonna be able to try and Toxic on a potential Corso switch in, but now I go for the Acid Armor, revealed that, which is pretty funny. So now I'm +2 defense, and now I'm gonna go for the Fire Blast with my MUK, which is, it's funny prep. And unfortunately, this Fire Blast does reveal AV, which is probably the worst possible Metal set I could have gotten. But AV does make sense, so it's unfortunate, but AV Metal is definitely a huge threat, so I have to think about that in the next few games. So he's gonna Earthquake. It's gonna do a lot, but you know, I'm +2 defense. Biohazard eats this up, so I'm gonna go for the Acid Armor again, and he's going to go Corsola. I'm gonna get a Toxic off. He's gonna Strength Sap. So getting this Toxic off is really nice. At this point, I don't know if the Florgus has Aromatherapy or not, so if he doesn't, that's really good for me. I know Will-O-Wisp is coming, so I can go to my Arcanine. I'm just gonna Morning Sun, get my health back for the likes of Melmetal and the Zard. He can keep Strength Sapping, but he's gonna get worn down by Toxic, so Hex is gonna come out. Not doing much at all. I'm going to teleport, go into my Latios, put on some pressure, and I'm going to actually double here. If I actually Shadow Balled, this thing actually gets knocked out. So that was definitely a huge play on turn 22. So I probably should have been a little bit more offensive. I don't really understand. I guess I do understand the Hex play because it probably would have knocked me out. But trading Corsola for my Latios would not have been the worst thing in the world because I feel like my defense probably could have won the game from there. So that's really unfortunate. So I'm going to go to my Biohazard, and I'm going to try and get a crit, try and get something to knock it out, but unfortunately I do not. But Toxic's going to keep wearing him down. He's down to 36. He's going to have to switch, and just go for the Fire Blast again in case he wanted to stay in. Unfortunately, he does not, so I'm just going to go for the Toxic, and he reveals Aromatherapy, which is not exactly the best thing for me. I did not know whether he would be able to fit Aromatherapy on this set, because Florgus, you know, wants to run Wish, Protect, Moonblast, and then a fourth move. Could have been Defog, could have been Toxic. In this case, it's Aromatherapy, which is a little unfortunate. If he did not bring Aromatherapy, I think I would have easily won this game. Or like, it would have been like, for instance, over sooner than it is. So we'll see. So I'm just gonna go for the Toxic again. He only has 8 Aromatherapy, so I'm like, okay, if I can just keep wasting his Aromatherapy, that'd be really good for me. Now I'm gonna go to Steelette, trying to get some, you know, damage off in the Slurgus, but he makes a good play into the Corsola. I guess she goes for the Mirror Coat, expecting a potential a special Cell Steal, because I only revealed Air Slash, but I'm actually mixed with Slam. Well, actually, Slam really is based off weight, so it's not really exactly mixed. But yeah, I'm gonna go into the Arcanine on the Willow. This is just very nice switching for me. And I can just click Toxic. I have Toxic on a lot of mons because it's just so good versus his team. Like, he has a Crest, he has this, Florgus, like all of these mons very weak to Toxic. So let's say I feel like he has to bring Aromatherapy a lot, like almost every week, just because his team is very Toxic weak. And especially if I bring like Toxic on a Fire type mon, like he can't really go to Melmetal because I threaten it. He's gonna Willow again, which is okay because I'm gonna teleport into Latios, trying to put on some pressure. But I think I'd double onto Arcanine again, just getting more chip with the Toxic. Exactly. I just, this Corsola is so annoying just because I can't really break it, and I just have to really Toxic stall, which is not exactly my favorite. And I reveal my 4th move, which is not great, because now he knows that he can stay in regular. And unfortunately, I think I missed the Toxic here. Yeah, that Toxic miss was very big. That was not exactly the best, because I rely on Toxic on this to break through the Zard. Because now that I can't hit Bulldoze because he's not Muggy Evolved. So he's going to go for this. Going to go for the Declob. As you can see, Arcanine still eats that up. This is max defense Arcanine, so only doing 62. Oh, and I say only, but that's a lot of damage. I do hit a Toxic, thankfully, and then now I'm forced to take a lot of damage, and he actually makes a really good play and goes to the T-Punch on the Vaporeon, which is, which is good for him. So unfortunate that that happened. That I have to sack my Vaporeon there, but it is what it is. And then now I get the Intimidate off. I'm like, okay, I can go MUK. My MUK is also very defensive, so I can live this, and then maybe like switch out my Arcanine back and forth. But then he gets a crit. So very unfortunate. My poor MUK, who, his debut gets crit, unfortunately. So a combination with that Toxic miss and that crit, I was starting to get a little tilted. Yeah, that was really unfortunate. But I'm still gonna. I see bro in the chat. I do live though, because Arcanine is goated. Get the Morning Sun off, which is very big. He's gonna Dragon Claw again and sack this off, which is really good for me. If he had like Roost, well no, he revealed his whole set. But if he was like DD Roost, and then he could have like gone into Florges or Aromatherapy, got the Toxic off, and then probably maybe won in the end game. So maybe that was something. But he already Mega Evolved, so I could have Bulldoze or something. But that's just a thought. Alright, Melmetal comes in. I'm going to scout damage with Bulldoze. I can really stay in because I don't really care what this thing has to do. I have a Shuckle Berry still intact because I know that the Zard does not carry Earthquake. He opted for Thunder Punch for Vaporeon over the Earthquake. So he's going to double Iron Bash. Not going to do that much. I can go Cetilla predicting a Earthquake, but he actually goes Corsola, which is fine because I can just go right back into Arcanine. And I can just Morning Sun. It's going to Florges, which is fine. He's probably going to Aromatherapy, so I'm going to make a hard switch into my Celesteela, which actually looks really good in the end game. Unfortunately, my leftovers knocked off. Yeah, so I did get that knocked off. So actually in the end game, if I had my leftovers, I would have been a little bit better. So maybe that was a boon, or I don't even know. I mean, getting rid of me and Shell was definitely worth it. So hard to say. So he actually stays in here, which is super good for me. I actually get a Heavy Slam off, which is like awesome. I get rid of the Florges, which is really awesome, like really good. I can go into the Arcanine. That Wish gives back into Melmetal, which, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. He now has no Aromatherapy, so I can freely Toxic this and start wearing this thing down, which is really good. I can just Bulldoze into this, and Arcanine is looking really good in this end game. I can just keep wearing this thing down. Strength Out comes out. I'm going to heal that thing up. And go Celesteela, Willow. So that Willow, yeah, I probably should have just stayed in, but I just wanted to be a little bit more aggressive. But yeah, that play into Celesteela was not the best. I should have just stayed in with Arcanine there, which is really unfortunate because I need as much health as possible for the Celesteela to beat the Zam. So I go into this. He makes a good play back into this. I'm gonna go back into Arcanine. Strength Sap. Gonna bring him all the way back. So at this point, I'm just like, trying to stall out this turns, and he could be probably sending in Alakazam or something, because Alakazam just it's gonna do a lot of damage once it comes in. I think they might just say that in the chat, like, oh, is it just me or someone could win the game? Yeah, ended a bit ago. I mean, it's really hard for me to break through this. I could have maybe played a little bit more riskier with that. He unfortunately does go for the double Iron Bash. I get that wrong. I probably should have just stayed in with Arcanine, or I maybe like made some plays around this Melmetal, but this Melmetal really gets me in this endgame just because, I don't have like my Vaporeon, for instance. I could just like switch out between to deal with this Melmetal. I have to get the Intimidate off to really ensure that I'm okay. And yeah, in theory, if they're talking about me, I should have most certainly risked my Latios a little bit sooner and tried to play around this, but at this point I'm kind of just thinking about differential. I don't want to lose by too much. I want to try and get as many Pokemon to come down with me. Just trying to play around this Corsola. I'm going to ball here. I don't think he would Mirror Coat, so he's going to Hex. It's going to do a lot. So he does get the Hex there. So, but I am able to knock it out. So this Gazam's going to come in. I need to somehow like live this, but no. I do Bulldoze here on the Nasty Plot. But yeah, I'm not faster after that. So that's going to be game 1. I'm going to lose to Alakazam in the end game. Melmetal was very annoying, and Corsola was very annoying. So definitely should have maybe not brought Muk. Muk was maybe not the best bring, especially with the aromatherapy. So going into game 2, I look back at my team. I'm like, okay, what can I do? What can I switch this up? Because clearly my prep was for not the best for the specific team that he brought. I think Coco and Latios were fine. It's just that Mirror Coat was good, so I have to really think about that in the second game. But it's like, what Pokemon can I maybe switch out that would help me in game 2 and 3, or potentially a third game? So I'm thinking, and I'm like, okay, so one of the biggest problems for me was the Corsola, and I'm like, how can I beat Corsola? Okay, Knockoff's really good against Corsola, get rid of Eviolite, and I'm like, okay, DONPHAN has that. DONPHAN's also really good against Melmetal, and Florges died to the Heavy Slam, so I know that Florges is very Spadef invested. So let's say I bring a offensive DONPHAN, which also is good for Zard and can check other things. I'm like, okay, I think offensive DONPHAN is going to be my best bet for the second game. I also can run Rocks for the Zard, and he has no defog as far as I know, because I know that the Florges has Wish, Aromatherapy, Moonblast, Protect most likely. So I'm like, okay, I can probably run Rocks on that. Looking at his team, I can run Earthquake, Knockoff, Ice Shard, Stealth Rock really freely. I don't need to run Rapid Spin just because I know he doesn't have any hazards. I know the entire Corsola G set. I know he doesn't have Stealth Rock, so I'm like, okay, I think this DONPHAN is exactly what I need, and I'm going to switch that out for the MUK in game 2. So we're going to see how this goes. I'm going to lead DONPHAN because I think DONPHAN matched up really well against literally everything. Everything I'm fine with except for the Zard. Leading off because he could DD and, in regular form, and I can't hit him because he's flying. And if he led off Zard, I mean, I could just go into something else. And if he led Zam, I would probably also switch into Stealer or something. So he leads Mienshao. I don't want to be faked out here, as I know fake outs are likely coming, and I just want to repeat the same plays. I know that he's going to U-turn, so I think I do something here. I think I Toxic. Yeah, I get that right. So I do Toxic on the switch, and I know he's not going to repeat the same turns that happened on the first game, so I am able to make that play, which is nice for me. Get this thing Toxic immediately, force him to Aromatherapy later. I'm going to make a really hard play into the DONPHAN, because I don't think he would Willow there. He could, but I didn't think that was likely. I have Heal Bell and Vaporeon anyway, so I'm feeling like I can play a little risky with this DONPHAN because I want to knock this freaking thing off, dude. I want to get this thing out of my sight. I hate this mon, it's so annoying. So he's gonna fake out, which is totally fine. I showed to be leftovers, right? Yeah, I am leftovers. Leftovers offensive DONPHAN. So he's gonna knock that off, but I'm able to once again knock this thing out early because this is offensive DONPHAN. So that thing is gonna die. He's gonna say Sigh, which is kind of funny. So now I am able to go into the Arcanine. Like I said, if he goes in Charizard on DONPHAN, I could have had Rock Slide actually, so that is something I could have had, and maybe in a potential rematch I do bring this, but I'm really surprised he didn't think about Rock Slide here, because if I had it, this thing would have just died. It would have been really funny. I probably should have had Rock Slide over Stealth Rock. I just didn't think. Yeah, I should have had Rock Slide over Stealth Rock, but it was in between games. I was thinking about it really quick, and I didn't want to. Spend too long thinking about it in between, because that leaves your opponent waiting, and also I want to try and catch him off guard as soon as possible and be as quick as possible in getting in the second game and not have him think about, oh, what's this DONPHAN going to do against me, right? So, alright, so let's continue. I have the Arcanine, and this time I don't believe I missed Toxic. I hit it first time, which is fantastic. I believe I I got Vaporeon immediately because I think he's going to Blaze Kick or Dragon Claw, I guess. And he actually Blaze Kicks. Now he Declaws, I eat that, which is really good. I'm able to flip turn, get some more chip, and now I can go into Arcanine, and I can save the Vaporeon for later. Vaporeon can come in on Corsola and like Heal Bell if I need to, so we'll see if that plays out. So I'm gonna get Intimidated. I probably, yeah, Morning Sun, which makes sense. Corsola's gonna come out. I'm gonna once again risk my Donphan because I don't really care. And I probably get Earthquake here and get a bunch of damage off this. Or actually Knock Off. Yeah, Knock Off makes a lot of sense. Because I don't think he would stay in, and if I catch like, I don't know. No, Knock Off or Earthquake was really fine. Yeah, because I don't think Earthquake one-shot it. It might have. Don't underestimate Donphan. Donphan's good, man. Alright, he's gonna go into this. I think I just Quake. Yeah, just some chip. He's gonna disable me, which is fine. I'm like, okay, let me just knock this off, and he's gonna go Mellow, let that thing get knocked off, and getting rid of that AV is very nice. So something like a Coco or Latios can do a lot of damage to this thing now. Now that AV is knocked off, so knockoff really coming in clutch this game so far. He's gonna Double Iron Bash and go Arcanine. I don't really care. I can teleport out here. I think that's what I do. Yep. I'm gonna go into Donphan. Once again, just gonna knock off. So yeah, get rid of that thing. Eviolite. He's gonna miss Willow, which is, you know, some justice for missing Toxic in the first game and getting crit. So you know, some justice, right? I'm gonna go hard Coco because, you know, he gets Strength Sap, but I now know if he, like, let's say he doesn't and he like goes for the Hex, I could, you know, come in here, and if he, I think he probably Mirror Coats here, so I'm like, obviously I'm not gonna attack this. I'm just gonna go Arcanine, play it safe, as he does attempt to Mirror Coat. So it's gonna come in. I'm gonna go for the Toxic, get that thing Toxic once again, which is fantastic. He's gonna T-Punch, gonna do a lot in electric terrain. He's gonna get a crit para, dude. Oh man, the hacks in this game, man. Oh dude. Oh man, that's annoying. But Zard is gonna be going down to 1, which is fantastic. But now I can risk my Donphan on the next T-Punch. So that was a really good play for me, getting my Donphan in here, predicting the punch. He definitely should have just clicked Claw, but I think what I thought in this process is I immediately went Donphan on this turn, just in case. I think on his end, he would most likely just click Thunder Punch again without really thinking. So I'm like, okay, if let's say he clicks Thunder Punch and then starts to think, oh, let me just click Declaw because that makes more sense, right? Because I don't have a Fairy type, or I don't have like a immunity, right? So Dragon Claw is gonna make more sense. But if I go Donphan immediately, it doesn't allow him to cancel that move and then, you know, go for the Claw. And I think Donphan probably lives a Claw anyway. And I didn't need my Donphan like that healthy, because Donphan outspeeds Melmetal, outspeeds Florges, outspeeds Corsola, which is all I really needed to do. So Zard's gonna go down. The Zam's gonna come in, and I go Celesteela because, you know, Zam can't really do anything to Celesteela. Celesteela is absolutely goated. Alakazam actually does not get Thunderbolt, so can't really hit Celesteela. It could go with like a Shadow Ball or Focus Blast, but you know, Steel is pretty goated. I try and catch the Melmetal, which is fine. I am unable to do that. I'm gonna go hard Vaporeon, which makes a lot of sense because, you know, I'm likely to see a Willow, and leftovers always goes first, so I'm able to live, and then now I am able to Heal Bell, which is exactly what I needed to get rid of the para on Arcanine. Vaporeon's gonna go down, but I needed to definitely get rid of that para, because now I can go back into this and Morning Sun up, and which allows me to take on the Melmetal very well now. So I know he's gonna Earthquake. I'm gonna go into Celesteela. I'm able to Flamethrower now that he lost his AV. It's gonna 2-hit KO. Thunder Punch is gonna do a lot. No para, thankfully, which is very nice. He's gonna go Florges. I'm Flamethrower. I know I'm probably faster, so I think I just Heavy Slam on this turn. He does go Corsola, but the Eviolite's not gonna knock off. Yeah, so it still does a chunk. He's gonna disable me, which is fine. I go for the Toxic. Yeah, that makes sense, because I know he's just gonna Strength Sap. So getting that Toxic is free. And I think I go Donphan here. No, I should go Arcanine. Yeah, that makes sense because the Willow. Yep. Yeah, Willow. And I think I probably teleport here. That would make more sense. Teleport makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So then I just go Celesteela because I know I could just Heavy Slam. I could also went Donphan here. Donphan would have been better. But I just Heavy Slam. Knock that thing out. More kills for Celesteela. Now this thing comes in. I'm +1 speed up. This is so free to just go for Heavy Slam. Zam's gonna get knocked out, and the Melmetal is gonna come in, and I know I'm faster. Just go for the Flamethrower, and Corsola's gonna come back in, and I believe I just play it safe, and I go Arcanine, and I'm gonna teleport out, or I just like get some toxic damage racked up to where I can go into one of my, I think I just go Latios and Shadow Ball. That makes a lot of sense. So after this, I get enough toxic damage. I'm going to teleport out here into a range where I know that I can knock this thing with a Shadow Ball, and then that is going to be game 2. So really thinking about what my team needed in the second game is what definitely gave me this dub. Knockoff on DONPHAN was so huge, getting rid of the AV and the EV light, and the leftovers as well. So DONPHAN coming in clutch. Vaporeon switching on the Corsola on the Willow, that was really clutch. So that was good as well to get rid of the para. Even if I didn't get parried in the first place, would have been a lot better. But we play through hacks. It's the game that we play, right? Alright, so game 3, I feel like this is my best 6, so I'm going to stick with it. And he is going to actually switch out the Corsola G and the, what else did he switch out? He switched out Mienshao for Crustle. So he makes a couple changes, but that doesn't really affect me. I can still like toxic and pressure the Cresselia with the, everything, and DONPHAN also pressures Cresselia with like knockoff and stuff. So I'm not really concerned, and Crustle is not really an issue as well because I have Vaporeon, I have Roaring Vaporeon, and I have a DONPHAN. Like Crustle cannot break through DONPHAN under any circumstance, so I just have to play those well so I don't lose to Crustle in the end game. So that was like my beginning thoughts going into this game. So a little bit more offensive. Well, actually not really, because he has Mienshao, but Mienshao just didn't really do anything those first 2 games. So I mean, it makes sense why he switched it out. I feel like Mienshao could have been good, but I think he revealed to be Regenerator in the second game. So I feel like he was reckless. That would have been a little bit better against me. But I mean, I have a Coco and a Latios that can maybe switch into that. And I also could have Protect on Celesteela for like HJK. So I guess that really didn't make the most sense. So alright, let's start with this. Once again, I'm going to leave with DONPHAN because DONPHAN just, literally beats everything on his team, basically, except for the Zard once again. So yeah, and Crustle actually leads off. I'm like, okay, if he might rock, he might something. If he stealth rocks, that's going to be a little annoying because I don't have Rapid Spin on this, but I mean, getting chip on this thing would be really great so he can't Shell Smash later. So I'm just going to Quake. He's going to Shell Smash, and he's going to reveal to not be White Herb, which is really good for me. He's probably Sash. I think Sash lead makes a lot of sense. And at this point, I'm like, okay, let me calc this real quick. How much is Ice Shard doing? And I have Ice Shard on this thing for especially like these moments, right? For like a Zan that gets set up and I lose my Celesteela, I need priority. DONPHAN Ice Shard, very good. So I calc it. Ice Shard is doing like 19% minimum. So I know I can go for the Ice Shard and be able to knock it out, which is really good. Crustle absolutely did nothing, and now it's 6v5. And I'm in a really good spot. So the Cresselia is going to come in. At this point, I'm like, okay, I'm just free to stay in because I don't want this thing setting up. So I'm just, I'm just going to go for the knockoff, get rid of the sub. He's just going to call mine. Can knock off, get rid of the leftovers, which is really good. But now I'm like, okay, let me just go into Vaporeon. I know he's going to keep setting up, and I can just roar this thing out. It's not an issue whatsoever. Like, he'll sub, but, he'll get roared out. So, not an issue whatsoever. I can go Arcanine, get the Intimidate off on this thing. He's going to punch. No para. No para. Yeah. I'm just going to pour it out. And now I can just go DONPHAN and click Knockoff, I believe. Oh, I should click Rocks. Yeah, I agree with that play. Because Cresselia is not going to do anything to me, and I can just knock that thing out. So Rock's going to be very good for the Charizard. And now he gets Florges. I believe I just Earthquake or knock. Yeah, knock again. Yeah, so getting rid of those leftovers. Once again, I think Earthquake might have killed. I don't know. Offensive DONPHAN's pretty goated. I could, you know what? I'm going to calculate right now. DONPHAN, offensive spinner against Florges. You were max Bedef. So Calm Nature. Earthquake would have done like 64. So I mean, it does a lot. Knockoff soon about that. So I think, let's see, Knockoff got a crit on that turn. So if I look at crit, yeah, that looks about right. So actually, Earthquake wouldn't have killed, but it does a lot. But getting rid of those leftovers allows him to not have that longevity, which makes a lot of sense. So I'm gonna just get Rocks up again because I don't really care what he goes into. At this point, I think he's likely going to go into Zard, or he's going to defog, so I can just go into this. He's just going to wish back. He's going to Moonblast. You know, not going to do too much for me because I just flip turn out, get momentum. Now I just go into DONPHAN. Now that his leftovers are gone, I'm just going to play offensively. I think I just Quake. He just goes Zard, actually I just get it Rocks. That makes more sense. So he's going to hard Zard. It's fine. I can just go Arcanine, get the Intimidate off. And I know this thing can't break me. I just got to hit a Toxic. Can I hit the Toxic, Arcanine? Can you do it, buddy? Yes. Alright, I'm 2 out of 3 on hitting Toxic against Zard in this series. So he's going to go into this. I think do I make the play into DONPHAN here on the T-Punch? I do not. Okay. I probably could have went DONPHAN and, you know, switched around. That's probably what I should have done, but I do sack off the Vaporeon, which is fine. He's going to Claw. Not going to do a lot. I think I just Bulldoze. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Toxic's going to wear him down, and I just sack off the Arcanine. Arcanine is really, I just needed that for the Zard, really, and then, you know, I can play around the Melmetal. It's not an issue. I still have my DONPHAN at full health. Now I just go DONPHAN, click Earthquake, and that's actually going to KO. DONPHAN in a really good spot here. I think I just Quirk again. Yeah, it's going to 2-hit KO the Melmetal. Double Iron Bash. Not going to do a whole ton. And DONPHAN's just going to Earthquake again. DONPHAN, you know, put it on click. Shout out to offensive DONPHAN for doing it to him. Zam's going to come in. I'm not going to let this thing set up and have any shenanigans. Because let's say I let this thing Nasty Plot. I go into Celesteela, hard Celesteela. He Nasty Plots, gets like a crit Focus Blast. And my Celesteela dies, then I could potentially lose the game. I don't think I do lose the game because I still have a Coco in the back. So maybe going Celesteela would have been, you know, better because I get more differential. But at this point in the match, I was like, okay, I just want to be done. I want to win this game no matter what happens, right? So I stay in, I click knock off, but he does kill me with Energy Ball. Now I can for sure go into Celesteela and go for the Heavy Slam and knock him out for the game. So really, really good games to SkeetCity. You know, bringing me to 3 games, beating, you know, well played, honestly. Like the first game, you know, I wasn't exactly prepped. MUK wasn't obviously the best bring, but I just wanted to flex with MUK like one game, you know, and that's why I love like best out of 3, right? Because you know you can bring some dumb stuff in the first game and then bring it back in the next 2. So yeah, it just allows you to be a little bit more fun and you know try out some different things, which is exactly what I tried to do with MUK. But you know, we'll see if I can put in more work with MUK later in the season. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna try my best. MUK will be putting in work sometime. It was not his day. It was not his day, unfortunately. But yeah, shout out to DONPHAN for doing it to him. DONPHAN really shined. Coco, you know, Coco kind of chilled. Coco kind of just like got mirror coded and then did nothing for the next 2 games. But you know, Coco was ready. Coco was ready. You know, Arcanine, Vaporeon, nice defensive core, and then Celesteela, you know, doing the work. So you have good games to SkeetCity. That was really fun. That was a really good series, honestly. Really had me nervous at the first game, and had me a little tilted too after the, you know, the para and the crit on MUK. But we brought it back. Shout out to DONPHAN. So, yep. Once again, good games. If you made it to the end of the video, you're a legend. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Leave a comment. Let me know. Let me know what you thought of. Let me know what you thought of these games. I thought this was a really good series. Really fun. So, yeah. I will see you next time.